Up next, it's the rookie Colt and Gelding Pacers, and one of the highlight horses coming in, Kenneth J. He hasn't done a whole lot wrong this season. A solid effort in his elimination, and he comes in tonight from post 7 for trainer Linda Toscano. She also part of Breeders' Crown history. In fact, she was the first female trainer ever to win a Breeders' Crown title.
Everybody always asks me, how does it feel to be a female in a male-oriented business? But I've never really looked at it that way.
And Molly Can Do It is charging hard on the outside.
It's nice to spin it for the women. Somebody has to be first, but I'd rather win the race.
22 years of Breeders' Crown history. First track to host the event, the Red Mile. The first and only horse to win 4 Crown titles, Peace Corps.
Peace Corps wins the Breeders' Crown.
The first female trainer to condition a Breeders' Crown champion, New Jersey native Linda Toscano. It's a victory she'll never forget.
Molly Can Do It, sweeping up to take the lead. 2 crowns today for Moiseev. Molly Can Do It wins it.
Molly was the kind of horse that she was a blue-collar worker. When they stubbed their toe up front, she'd pick up the pieces. And she went really kind of stepped out of the box for her elimination race. She made a quarter move onto the lead, which was not her style of racing at all, and she took control of the situation, and she won very handily in her elimination, and then came back, and in the final, if they got to the half too quick, she was going to be the one that finished. Her last 8th was going to be her best part of the race, and that's exactly what happened. In fact, going through the last turn, it was really questionable as to whether she was going to get out. And I remember thinking to myself, I can't even believe this. She's overloaded and can't get through. And when she finally shook loose, she barreled down the middle of the racetrack and she won. So it was quite a thrill.
Tonight will be Toscano's 2nd Breeders' Crown appearance since her landmark victory in 2002. In the 8th race, 2-year-old pacing colt Kenneth J. will give Linda another chance at making history. A win tonight will make her the only woman to take home 2 Crown trophies.
With Kenneth J., the pressure was on him. When we won it with Molly Can Do It, the pressure was not on her at all. I'm very pleased with the Colts race. Ronnie said that he's very soft in the mouth, and he was trying to save a little bit for next week, so he didn't start him up until maybe it was a little bit too late. But that was a big mile on a cold night, and I think the Colt did himself proud. The only problem is now we're in the hands of the post position gods, as you put it, to hope that we get a good post, because the winners do get to draw, and that's a big edge.
With an impressive freshman record and the driving skills of Ron Pierce, Kenneth J. can make Linda's dream of another Breeders' Crown victory a reality.
I was very impressed with Ole Ole. I had been watching him. He's stabled also at Showplace Farms, where we come from, and I've been watching him all summer long. And a horse is really good that's racing at freehold, but you're not sure exactly what they're going to do when they move from the small track to the big track and whether they're going to be able to pick it up. I know that firsthand because when I took Kenneth J. to Lexington, I knew he was one of the best or the best horse in the New York Sire Stake program, but I wasn't sure what he would do when I got him to the big track. I looked forward to it because I thought he'd pick it up when he got there, and he didn't disappoint me. But Ole Ole did the same, and the fresh horses are the horses coming into these races. It's hard to keep a horse sharp from May or June right straight through the Breeders' Crown. So it's a testament to their ability and to how good a horse is when you can keep one going all year long and still have them good enough to compete in the Breeders' Crown.
2-year-olds can improve from week to week, month to month, and I think that's what happens a lot of times when you get to this stage of the year. When Arts Place went that 51-1 world record in 1990 as a 2-year-old, that record still stands today, 16 years later. But that was November 30th. That was the latest the Breeders' Crown ever went. So he's only a month from being a 3-year-old, actually. So, but a lot of things can change, and that's one of the reasons you see so many contenders at this level for the 2-year-old pacing colts, and you get an idea of who's going to be who next year. But Kenneth J., I think, is an interesting horse because he's shown in recent years some of the New York Sire Stakes horses have gone national, and he's one of those, looks like he can do it. And Bettor's Delight's having a huge breakout season as a stud.
Ole Ole coming in out of the New Jersey Sire Stakes program, as Linda Toscano sort of alluded to there. Sometimes that's the kind of horse you want to look for in a race like this. They haven't been locking horns with the toughest horses in the world, in the Woodrow Wilson, in the Metro, in some of the preliminary lead-ups to the Breeders' Crown. They've sort of been playing in the regional stakes, and they may have saved the best for last. In the case of Ole Ole, he has won 8 times from 9 starts. His only loss was by a neck when he had to come first up and was parked much of the mile on the half mile at Freehold. So he definitely is a contender. Here we'll start the field with a look at 31-1. Second longest price is Running Book. Steve Condren aboard for local trainer Nat Vardy. Number 2 in the field, Sutter Hanover, one of the elimination winners from last week, is trained by Mark Harder.
And Mark Harder was a 2004 leading trainer in all of North America at over $6 million here. And Dragon again, the sire, looks for a couple in a row.
John Campbell would likely have been driving Art Zena. He had a choice of a couple in the field, but obviously with his accident off all drives, Jack Moiseyev is the recipient of the catch drive for trainer Dylan Davis. Art Zena at 6-1 despite great credentials. 5 wins and $290,000 this year. Ole, on the other hand, might be the horse that is the one to beat. He certainly knows how to win with 8 for a 9 record, having raced in the New Jersey Sire Stakes. Scott Bell trains Cap Manzi, getting the drive tonight at age 55. He's arguably never driving been better. Charley Barley in the field with another veteran reinsman. We've seen him twice in the winner's circle. Nobody needs to draw a map for Mike Lachance. He's on board a long shot here, though. Ron Pierce will drive the 6-horse Kenneth J. Plenty of support for this one at 3-1, the second choice right now. First or second in each one of his last 6 starts. He's only once been off the top 2, and that was a third. Spin rate, on the other hand, the 7-horse at 50-1. Biggest price for Kelly O'Donnell. A long time between crown wins for him. Longest ever. In fact, Brian Sears will drive the 7-horse. 8 in the field, Southwind Lynx, with Andy Miller doing the driving. 12-1, as is the price on the next door neighbor, number 9. That'll be the Nat Vardy trained Laughing Art. So Vardy sending out both the fence starters, from the inside, Running Book, and from the far outside, Laughing Art. We'll see if either one of them can play a role in the race, but certainly there are about 3 horses that have stamped themselves as the ones to beat. They're starting from mid-gate. We'll see if post position plays a factor here. Ole, Charley Barley, and Kenneth J. Post positions 4, 5, and 6 are the 3 horses getting the most support at this point. That, Greg, is the 2-year-old Pacing Colt division with 7 minutes to post.
Just minutes away, what many feel could be, pound for pound, the most competitive division of the night.
2-year-old Pacing Colts on the track, about 4 minutes to post time, and what looks like the toughest division. In fact, there are 5 horses at 5-1 or less. The favorite is currently at 3-1. That's the 6-horse Kenneth J. And Renee and Bob have both gone to Kenneth J., where the rest of us all split in our opinions. Art Zena is the one Ken will back. I'm on board Ole, the 4-horse, and Charley Barley, the 5, is the one Greg Blanchard likes. 5 people going with 4 different horses. It's certainly a wide open race. Is it that wide open that a maiden could possibly win? One guy that hopes so is Kelly O'Donnell.
34-1 right now for spin rate with Brian Sears in the bike. I mean, that's an edge. And Kelly, thanks for joining us here. I think dry spell might be an understatement. The last time you won a Breeders' Crown race was in 1985. You had a good season last year, winning the Jug, but a maiden in this race.
Yeah, he is. He's proved his way to be here. The way he raced in Lexington and gave a good showing last week in the elimination. You know, he come from last and put in a real good effort in the last 1/8 of a mile. So he's a nice horse. I don't know if he's can go with the top 2 or 3 in here, but hopefully we get a nice check.
Yeah, pretty much what you just said is what Ron had mentioned to me earlier, that this horse can really come home, and that's pretty much why he's here.
Yeah, he's not an overly aggressive horse early on. He hasn't learned to race yet. He's a great big horse. I think, next year and throughout he'll learn to be a lever and be a little more aggressive. But right now he does have one major kick, and usually it's coming for home. So we'll see what kind of trip we get.
And hopefully pick up a nice check along the way. We're going to wish you luck, Kelly.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it. Pretty much what you had told me, Ron, was what Kelly just told us. This horse can really come home in a hurry.
I think so. His last 3 starts shows that he finished real strong, and I'm sure that's why Kelly put him in here. And if we just get some fast fractions, and anything can happen tonight, as you can see, it's I think Halloween come early. It's trick-or-treat time.
Kenneth J is the favorite right now. He's at 7-2. He's by Bettor's Delight. Have you had a chance to have a good look at many of them?
Yeah, they look pretty good. Last year he had a good year. This year, this horse here kind of shines over the rest of them, though.
Linda Toscana looking to get another Breeders' Crown victory to add to her resume. Of course, she did it with Molly Can Do It, looking to get it done here with Kenneth J in this wide open group. Mike?
Can tell you the number 2 horse, Sutter Hanover, was momentarily returned to the paddock, but is back out on the track. So Ziron on board the Mark Carter pupil on the track. There's a look at the number 8. As we quickly check in with the number 8 horse in the field, Southwind Lynx, and Andy Miller currently at 15-1. Sounds like a high price. Is it an impossible price? Well, there's a look at Kenneth J. and Ron Pierce, though, I should say. That one is the favorite. Now we're looking for Southwind Links at 15-1. A lot of people would say, Bob, you can't win this race when you come in with only a couple of wins. You were in your elimination, certainly not running over horses there, finished third in the event. But I would have to say this is the kind of race that absolutely anybody could win. You, on the other hand, think you've found the bet of the night in Kenneth J.
Yeah, I do. And his last 8 races are at 7 different racetracks. And his last race that he lost, Ron Pierce called it driver error. He says, I relaxed in the third quarter. By the time I started him up again, they were in full sprint, and I was sprinting with them, but it was too late. He said, that was my fault. This is a leading driver in North America saying that, and it won't happen in the final. Now, that actually may benefit him, because maybe he saved a little bit more for tonight. And he was very, very good at Lexington before that, in the International Stallion Stakes and the Bluegrass. Seems to like all size tracks. And again, Bettor's Delight's having a huge breakout season. Sometimes the first year of a sire leaves question marks, second year answers them. He's done that so far this year. Pierce looks for a second.
All right, well, I'm going to the number 4 horse, Ole Ole. Greg Blanchard, on the other hand, going right in between our two picks. He's going to the number 5, Charley Barley. Greg, you're getting 5-1.
Finished third in his elimination, so just squeaked in, but I'll tell you what, he really caught my eye. I love the gate speed. He blasted off the wings, got position, took a shuffle, and then he was coming fastest of all at the end in that same elimination with Kenneth J. Just missed picking that one off for the place spot, was only beaten a half a length, and he charged home in 26-4. Only 8 starts, and I think this Colt sitting on maybe his best race coming in. He's got the hot hands of Mike Lachance doing the driving. Guys, I just wanted to get your thoughts getting back to Kenneth J. As we've seen many of the close-ups of him scoring out. What I don't like about him is his pre-race appearance. There's a lot of sweat on him, and on a cold night like this, that tells me he's maybe getting a little bit worked up, and I don't think that's a good sign.
Well, certainly that draws to mind the comparison to a trotter we saw here in the Super Finals a couple weeks back with a horse by the name of Majestic Sun. He was washed out pre-race and jumped it off at the start. He was off stride early, cost him all connections, but all hope there, but of course came back to score tonight. Hopefully that's not the case with Kenneth J. Ken and Bob and Renee's pick in the field, though. One horse that I think is pretty calm, cool, and collected. He's been kept on the half-milers. Ole Ole, the number 4, heads up to the gate. I love this guy because I don't think he was overdriven. I think he was given a very smart drive by John Campbell and the Elims. Now it's up to Cat Manzi to pick up where John Campbell left off. Pick up where we've left off. We'll go up to race floor 6 and Ken Middleton.
Jack Moiseyev looking for his 7th Breeders' Crown victory. He picks up a live catch drive 2. It's number 3, Ardzina. I like the fact that he's coming into this race fresh, and he has the definite tools to be a player. They're on the gate for tonight's 8th race. They're often pacing in from the outside like a shot. Here comes early speed from Laughing Art. Laughing Art, Mark McDonald uncorks him off the wings of the gate and leads by 2 lengths, crossing over in front of this field. Second down the center, charges out Ole Ole. In at the rail, 3rd, running book 4 position. Up on the outside into 4th now as they travel to the first turn is Charley Barley. Backed up at the rail from in 5th is Sutter Hanover. Towards the inside from in 6th there Ardzina, and there was some commotion on the outside. Moving up now 7th goes Kenneth J. Riding Kenneth J's cover is Southwind Links, and the trailer as the field goes through a quarter in just 28-1 is Spin Rate. Up on the outside, Mike Lachance now to forge to the lead, sending Charley Barley to the position of command. Sitting back in 2nd, Laughing Art. The move on the outside 3rd comes in the form of Ole Ole. He's getting roughed up in the early going for Cat Manzi, and on the outside it's Ole Ole to try and clear off the lead. Mike Lachance will sit back in 2nd now with Charley Barley. Immediate pressure as Ron Pierce is on the attack, sending Kenneth J to the outside through a 56 1/2. And here comes Kenneth J now to clear off the lead. Ole Ole is back in 2nd. Sitting at the rail from in 3rd is Charley Barley. Overland from in 4th is Southwind Links. At the rail 5th it's Laughing Art. 6th on the outside is Ardzina, and he has poor cover to follow. Jack Moiseyev has got to roll 3 wide right now, and here comes Ardzina from the backfield. Also moving up now, Spin Rate. Trapped at the inside is Running Book, and the trailer coming off the turn is Sutter Hanover. 3 quarters in 1:23-1. That was a huge 3rd quarter of 27 seconds flat. Has Pierce got anything left for the final quarter mile? Kenneth J is running on fumes. Up on the outside, coming on now to challenge and rush right past is Charley Barley. In behind horses, Ardzina still with some pace and still with some work to do for Jack Moiseyev. Charley Barley finds the front. Trying to fight back is Kenneth J. Charley Barley, Kenneth J. What a night for Iron Mike. Mike Lachance with the Breeders' Crown hat-trick, and it's Charley Barley to score in 1:53-3. Unbelievable effort for driver Mike Lachance, one of the busy guys on the card tonight, and he's productive too.
having the night of his life in Breeders' Crown competition. Unbelievably, at this point in his career, is Mike Lachance. The Colt used a 2-move effort to qualify last week. He does the same tonight, and he wins the war of attrition, narrowly scoring in the 2-year-old Colt and gelding pace final.
I think once the dust is settled after a big night of Breeders' Crown racing action, the story will have to be the night that Mike Lachance is having.
Oh, that's for sure. But I'm going to tell you, some guy that's in Florida right now, a fellow named Jim Glum, that's his daughters that had this horse, trained it and known part of it, I believe. So I think he's going to be a pretty happy guy tonight.
Lots of smiles in the winner's circle. It was Charley Barley that got the win at 6-1, another top pick by Greg Blanchard. And Charley Barley now just 2 wins lifetime. And with the time of 53-3, that is very much a new lifetime mark.
Can tell you that after 23 editions now of the Breeders' Crown for the 2-year-old pacing Colts, we've still only got 2 winning favorites. Here it's a 6-1 upset. Here they are going to the opening quarter. There's Lachance laying on the outside right now. Watch what he has to do as they come up to the quarter. Horse in the pocket, Cap Manzi, is starting to come out a little bit into him. Lachance either had to briefly check or try to go 2 or 3 deep there on the first turn. Don't think it took an awful lot out of him, but he did get to the lead eventually about the 3/8 pole. There was certainly other action in the middle half of the race. They mixed it up. But the veterans knew where to be as they came off the last turn. It's not over. You can never count Mike Lachance over, even when he has a few lengths to make up head of the lane.
That's for sure. Now consider this stat. Entering 2006, of the last 73 Breeders' Crown races, 1 was won by a driver 50 or older. That was Lachance himself with Cantab Hall back in 2003. You had to go all the way back to Dave Wall and Odie's Fame in '99 prior to that.
Good battle through the lane here. You have to give some credit to Kenneth J. This horse had a lot of fight in him. The Linda Toscano pupil with Ron Pierce battled through the lane. He was Bob's pick in the race, and he came within a neck of getting the win here. Lots of fight, but not enough to hold off Charley Barley with a couple of moves to get the win. Greg, you got to be pretty happy. You nabbed a 6-1 shot.
I'm very happy, and I'll thank Mike Lachance right now for coming through for me again with another selection here. And Charley Barley, last week I was really impressed with the 2-move effort and the way he charged at the finish. Did that leave you confident tonight he was a major player?
Oh yes, I knew he was a major player because with that gate speed that he has there, like in a night like this, that you could count on him to be like in a hunt there, and that's very important.
Were you happy with how things were unfolding, and did you like your spot heading into the last turn?
Yes, and of course I was happy. Like when I saw the horse on the outside, it wasn't going anywhere. I knew that I was going to have a clear shot in the stretch there, and I didn't know if how much he was going to fight the whole stretch there, but he fought enough, to get to be there first.
And this has to be one of the biggest nights of your career.
Well, I don't think I ever won 3 Breeders' Crown in one night. I won 2 a couple times, but not 3 on one night.
Joining some very elite company. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Mike Lachance, the winning driver. We're going to bring in Kim Miller here, the winning conditioner. And Kim, your biggest thrill to date?
Oh, absolutely.
Just a little bit of background on yourself, Kim. We don't hear a lot of you in this neck of the woods. Where's your base of operations, and where did this colt come from? He kind of flew in under the radar screen.
Yes, my home base is Vernon Downs. Kind of an unusual situation. The horse hasn't been in my husband's barn very long, just a few weeks as a matter of fact. So that was a nice lucking out, so to say.
Real pleasant surprise. Well, we want to congratulate you, and we hope you enjoy it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kim Miller, the winning conditioner. Mike Lachance completing the Breeders' Crown Triple tonight, getting it done with Charley Barley at odds of 6-1.
There's your final order of finish after that $14.10 Greg Blanchard winner went something like this: 5-4-3, 6-1-2, 9-8-7. Charley Barley, 2 if not 3 moves in the well. Mike Lachance scores with a 6-1 shot.